In previous section, I showed you how you can create a computer case door. Now I want to create the backplate of that case, and in later sections I will show you how you can assemble these parts together. Okay, let's go to Generative Sheet Metal Design Environment again. So I go select this and select the name. And again, I want to change the values here. The first thing I want to change is sheet metal parameters. 1 and 2 are the thickness and bend radius. Bend extremities is going to be tangent. And the K factor, I want to change it. I want to deactivate it and make it 0.4. Now I click on OK. Everything is there. So let's go to YZ plane. First of all, I want to draw a rectangle for the back plate. I want to have this a little big. So I select the rectangle, draw a rectangle like this, and this is going to be 420, and this is going to be 200. And of course, these are going to be symmetric, so I select these two lines and make them symmetric to the vertical line, the vertical vector, and these are going to be symmetric to horizontal vectors. So I select these, exit, and the simplest part is to add the wall. So I go to wall and add a wall here, and you can see a direction arrow here. You can see that it comes out. That means it adds the thickness outward. If I click on this, you can see that the direction is going to change. If I want to have the thickness in both sides, the profile is going to be in between the thickness. You can go and click on this little button here. But that's okay. I click on this arrow. I want it to be outward. I click on OK. Now you can see that the wall is created for me. So let's select this side of the wall. Go to Sketch Environment, and I want to make it big like this and pan down a little bit. I start by drawing a simple profile. Of course, this is not going to be that simple, but it's simple somehow. I go like this, go here. I want to have a 45 degrees, or better to say 135 degree side here. Go up, go right, and again another 45 degrees here. I can remove this parallelism and perpendicularism here. I don't want to have this. I can add my own constraints, for example, the angle values. And of course, they wouldn't harm my shape. Okay, let's add some corners. And I want these corners to be 15 millimeters in radius. So I change the radii to 15 and double clicking here and changing this to 15 and adding some more constraints. For example, this horizontal vector is going to be 110 millimeters away from this line. So I type in 110 here, and this edge and this edge are going to have 10 millimeters of distance. So I type in 10 here. Now I add more constraints. This line is going to be about 110 from this point, and selecting this line and this end line are going to be 160. Now you can see that this is changing my shape. That's okay for me because I'm going to add some angles here, and this angle is going to be 135. Now my shape is getting corrected. This is going to be 135 as well. Or I can put it here and make sure that this side is going to be 135. Okay? Now I want to have 135 between these two. So I add 135 inside. And I double click on this and type in 135. Now it should be the other way, okay? So let's remove this and change these two. This is going to be 135 between these two. I guess I type in 135 and that's corrected, okay? Now this line is going to be 15 millimeters, and this is going to be again 15. and this line is going to be 25. So I add 25. I want to be fast, and I'm sure that you can follow me. And now I need one more constraint, I guess. So this is going to be the distance between this line and this vertical line, and that's gonna be 90 millimeter, and my shape is fully defined. Now you can see the constraints here, and I exit my workbench. The first thing I want to do is to add a surface stamp here. So I go to insert menu, go to stamping, select the surface stamp, and I change the values. Here is a 75 degrees. This is going to be 3 millimeters inside, and the radii are going to be 1 and 1. So I reduce them to 1. I click on preview. Now you can see that this is coming outward and this is coming out. I don't want it to come outward. I want it to go inward. So you can see a little arrow here. That's an orange arrow. This tells me the direction of the surface stamp. So I click on this direction and I click on OK. Now it is going downward. That's okay for me. Okay. Now I need another surface stamp. So I go and select this face again, and I want to draw another profile. So I go to sketch environment and start drawing the profile. So let's pan up and start drawing the profile using the profile tool, and this is going to start here. Go right, down, left, and finish. Okay, this line is going to be vertical, of course. So I add the vertical. I need some corners. Every corner is going to be 5. So I select this, and no, this is wrong. Again, I need to select the corner tool and select this edge. Somehow it is kind of hard to select the edge. 5 millimeters here, and 5 here. If you cannot find the edge, you can just click on the 2 lines, and somehow it is easier to select the 2 lines, this one and this one, and I can see that I have this. The only one that is going to change is this. It's going to be 15 millimeters, but the other ones are going to be 5 only. So I take this, change it to 5. Another one is going to be down here, and I select this and make sure that this is 5 millimeters as well. And the last one, the last corner is going to be here. I double click on this and make sure that this is fine. Okay, now I need more constraints. This should be 75 millimeters. I mean the distance between this line and this line should be 75. I double click and change it. The distance between this top line and this line, of course you can see that this is not selectable right now. Let's draw this a little right. Now it is selectable. Now I select this and this. These two should be 90 millimeters away. So I type in 90. And of course, again, this line should be about 60 millimeters away from this horizontal vector, like this. Okay, I need more constraints here. Let's pan up a little bit. This should be 10 millimeters away from this. So I type in 10. And of course it should be in the other direction, in the opposite direction. So I click on swap locations. Now that's it. This line is going to be 10 millimeters away from this edge. I type in 10, and this edge are 75 millimeters away from each other. Now this is fully defined. I can exit my workbench and add another wall here. So let's zoom down and pan down, select insert menu, go to stamping, select surface stamp, and now the values are going to change. This should be 90 degrees, and this should be about 12 millimeters, and these are going to be 1 and 1. I click on preview. Yeah, it tells me surface assembly profile must be specified. Now I haven't specified the profile. I select the profile. Now you can see that the arrow is pointing inward. That's correct. And I click on OK. Now the back plate is created like this. I want to add some more details in later sections.